Planet of the Apes, issue number 4. We're back at it, folks. We are back at it. Do you ever just read a book that re-solidifies something you've always felt in your head? That Planet of the Apes is one of the best franchises ever because you can get political with it and you can get really experimental with it and just do something wicked. That's what this issue did for me, folks. This was so good. Like, this, for some reason, is the penultimate issue of this arc. The book ends of to be concluded, which makes me think we're done at issue 5. So I have two thoughts of that. One, the sales aren't good. They should be, because this book is phenomenal and it's really fun, and if you want to watch the new movie, this is apparently a prelude to that. And two, are we doing something else with Planet of the Apes after this ends? You cannot bring in Walker just to do 5 issues. Come on, I know you got more brewing in there somewhere, so let me see what you're about. This book takes place in 2018, and a lot of it is this kind of like narration from the Madam Secretary General, is that what it was? One of the high-ups in the U.S. military, and Sergeant Tobin. And Tobin was at this huge raid when the Experitus Viri came to claim a cruise ship that was like going across waters to take some of the apes to one of the final sanctuaries left alive. They were attacked by these, terrorists. So a lot of it is like narration of Sergeant Tobin explaining like what just happened and explain like this was insane. Essentially what she is saying, and I'll spare you some of like the genius words because it's an incredibly well written book. It's just like, yeah, the apes started to attack because they had their lives at stake. They were going for the kill. And that's what this book is, just apes killing terrorists on a cruise liner, and I'm having the time of my life with that. It's great. It's great. We see them just go bananas. No pun intended. They start killing people. One of them shoots Tobin, and then one of the apes comes to save her, just literally like batting a guy away with a shotgun. It's crazy. Like, the apes just realize, like, when it came down to it, they're going to fight. And that's part of like the narration that we're seeing from Tobin. Like, we all know like a gorilla can rip your arm off. It didn't make sense to me like why we were training them. But now that we know like there's actual military combat that they can learn, they are terrifying, deadly creatures, and they have the upper hand against everything going on in this fight. So like the motherly one goes to like check on Tobin, and like the child's like, "Are you hurt?" And she's like, "No, I'm okay." And then we see like some like the one of like the stripe in his hair. He leads like an assault of like the cabins, and they just like start beating up some guys, and he gets a hold of a gun and he starts shooting. And then in like the last issue, we saw this guy who was like radicalized because like his wife and child died from like the simian flu, and he became a terrorist. Well, he's got like a huge RPG that's like ready to shoot somebody. And then he's going in for like the kill shot, and he shoots it and blows it up. We see like this one ape has like the top of his head singed off. And it's just kind of like, it's amplified by the fact that like we're hearing the narration is explained. Nobody told the apes what to do. The Madam Secretary General's like, so who was like in control of this battle? Who like underwent this siege? And she's like, nobody. The apes were fighting to live. They were doing what they could to survive. So this one ape had the top of his head singed off, like it's burning and he's kind of on fire. He jumps from the cruise liner, like his life jacket is like ripped off and burning behind him. He lands in front of the terrorist and he just picks him up and throws him overboard. And you see in the background like other apes just jumping onto other ships and attacking, and you're like, this is what it's about. This is why we're doing a Planet of the Apes book, because it's cool, because it's awesome. And you just kind of see like the Madam Secretary General's like, look, we try to send troops to like assist in your fight to protect you, but you have to understand like this was just like one assault on a series of coordinated global attacks. Like, this was their plan from the beginning, to make us all defenseless. Like, currently in Washington, we're trying to defend like the fortress, and it's been going on for 48 hours, and between all of that, your fight was the only one that was successful. Every single other battle we're having with these terrorists has fallen short. And as that's being said, You see Tobin falls off the ship after it's kind of like hit with another RPG, and she's holding on to like one of the baby chimps. And you just see like, okay, so the other chimp gets a hold of the RPG and he shoots it onto another boat, kills some more guys, and it's a bloodbath. It is a bloodbath, and it's just the best thing you've ever seen. We need the apes to win. The apes are going to have to protect us if that's the way they can. We just can't send more troops because we got nothing left. You're the only ones that made it. And we see that another chimp pulls the baby and Tobin off. Like, she's the only good person in, like, a sea of terrible people. And I'm just like, yes, of course she is, because she knows empathy, baby. I love it. It's great, and it's just terrifying. So they're kind of on their own. They're the only successful one. And you hear, like, the Madam Secretary General being like, you led an assault that destroyed a lot of terrorists. You might have like lost your cruise ship, but you did it. We're getting those apes to safety. And then you're coming to Washington to save America because we need you to do this. And then the book says, to be concluded. I'm like, you cannot conclude this in 22 more pages. We need an entire arc about this. I'm not ready to say goodbye. So this better just be launching into a new book somewhere, because I want more of it. And we do get the conclusion to the smartest gorilla in the world. Well, not the conclusion. I guess the next issue will be the conclusion. This is Pug. He's a French gorilla who worked at a circus, and he has radicalized a bunch of other apes. They're wearing battle armor. One of them's got a beret. And they start to find like a bunch of maps in like this fortress that they overtook. And it shows places like France and England. He's like, what is this? And he's like, starts trying to like talk to the one human, like, what is this? He's like, what? Are you talking? He's like, yeah. What are these things? So the human has like these maps that lead to like animal like preservations all over like Europe and stuff. And the Pug's like, okay, we're going to go to those and we're going to free the apes. We're going to save them. Like, that's what we're going to do. Okay? That's what we're doing. And this guy's like, wow, I didn't realize apes were so smart. I thought they were just savages. And he's like, we're not savages. We're badass apes. And they walk away into like a tunnel to go head down deeper into the world, and to be concluded again. So that part of the story too will be concluded next week. And golly, what an epic book. I'm sorry. This is great. You know, action on a boat, apes beating the crap out of guys, taking control of like big RPGs, fighting for their lives. It's just great. And it's that kind of thing that only Planet of the Apes can do. It can be seen as a satire of like radicalization towards things that are supposed to help you, which, you know, we've kind of seen a little bit in today's climate. You know, like there's part of that we could explore. And then it's just like, well, what if like a smart French gorilla learned he could help his like fellow comrades? And I'm like, yeah, of course. That's awesome. That's awesome. What more do you want? That's so cool. What a unique and distinctive concept that we don't really play with a lot anymore. I really dig that, and I think it's incredibly fun. So that's going to be a really cool thing to see coming up. Cannot wait to see how this book ends. As much as I don't want it to end here, it's kind of cool that we got it this far to begin with. That's kind of exciting. So, Planet of the Apes, issue number 4. I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.